Moving on, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson could not find their range. Again, Steph was able to get better in that fourth quarter, but it looked as if the Cavs were just playing with an urgency that Golden State didn't have. And now looking at this as a stat that we just found out, with the exception of overtime after game one, the Warriors have not had led after any quarter this series. They entered the finals as the favorite to win it all, but after game three, our basketball power index say that the Cavs are now favored, Stephen A. So how much trouble are the Warriors in?
The Warriors in a world of trouble. They lose game 4 tomorrow night. They lose the series. It's just that simple. They're not coming back from a 3-1 deficit on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a wrap. If the Golden State Warriors lose game 4, they will go to Golden State. They will win game 5 Sunday, and then the city of Cleveland will be celebrating its first ever NBA championship next Tuesday night in game 6. They cannot. The Golden State Warriors cannot lose this basketball game tomorrow night. It is their game 7. It is that simple. They are in a world of trouble. And here's the primary reason why, above all else, above everything that we said, not to be incendiary or derogatory, we just have to call it like we're seeing it thus far. What happened in games 1 through 3 may not necessarily happen in games 4 through 7, if there is a game 7. But I'm going to tell you what I see over the first 3 games. The Golden State Warriors are soft. It's just that simple. Cleveland is more physical. They're going at them. They're throwing bodies at them. They're not giving Steph any open shots. It's not just Matthew Dellavedova. Matthew Dellavedova is trying to fight like heck through one pick after another. But no matter who picks, who gets picked, all of a sudden there's another defender. Do you know how many times last night Tristan Thompson was on Steph Curry? He was right in his face because they're switching. Or LeBron was on him. Or Iman Shumpert was on him. Or J.R. Smith is on him. Steph Curry, the game plan for the Cleveland Cavaliers has been very, very simple. Absolutely, positively no open shots for Steph Curry. I don't care who else you have to leave open. I don't give a damn if they're 5 feet away from the basket. Steph Curry does not get any open three-point shots, period. There is always somebody in front of him. And as a result, Cleveland essentially has dared somebody else on Golden State to beat them. And they have not responded to the physical challenge that the Cleveland Cavaliers have thrown in their face. It doesn't matter whether it's Tristan Thompson rebounding, whether it's Mozgov attacking early, whether it's LeBron attacking the rim with abandon, whatever the case may be, defensively and offensively, Golden State has not matched Cleveland's physicality. And especially, offensively, they're a perimeter shooting team. They almost never attack the basket. David Lee comes into the game. I'm talking about he got to the free throw line by himself 5 times. Okay? Nobody else for Golden State was doing that. David Lee was the only guy willing to attack the basket. This is a guy that averaged a double-double. This is a 2-time All-Star. Yeah. This is, I totally, listen, Steve Kerr has done a fantastic job. We're talking about the finals now. The finals. David Lee is not a scrub. He's a defensive liability, no doubt. But every team has a defensive liability. It happens. You have to score points to win games. Defense may win you championships, but points win games. And you need David Lee on that court because he's the only one that gives Golden State a different look because he appears to be the only one that's attacking the basket. I saw Andrew Bogut get the ball with his 7'1" self. Get the ball literally about 3 feet away from the basket, bobbled it where it took him 2 extra feet away from the basket, but he was still 5 feet away from the basket, and he didn't even think to look at the basket. He threw that bad boy out like it was hot pancakes or whatever it was as quick as he possibly could. No offensive presence whatsoever. You need someone on your front line to force Cleveland to pay attention into the post, and there's only one guy they have that's willing to do it, and that's David Lee. Even if you got to play him with Draymond, you got to play David Lee. You just have to do it.
Got it. Back to the question. I agree with you. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors are in a ton of trouble, but you are about to hear, probably all day long and into tomorrow, about how the Warriors are finding themselves now in the same position they were in against Memphis in the conference semifinals.
Yep.
They were down 2-1 facing Game 4 in the grindhouse. And Steph came out in the first half of that Game 4 and scored 21. And they were up 17 at halftime, the Golden State Warriors, and went on to win that series in 6 games. This ain't the grindhouse, and this ain't the Memphis Grizzlies. This is LeBron James in his house, back home, playing in his 5th straight finals. And this is Delly on a roll. And this is the best defense that this team has faced all year without question through the Western Conference playoffs. A very physical, as LeBron calls it, team grit kind of a defense. And I got to tell you, my takeaway from the last 2 games, after the Kyrie injury, I think everybody in the Bay Area, all the Golden State Nation fans, were preparing for the parade. No Kyrie, no problem, we got this. Now they're preparing for doom and gloom because their basketball team, even though it said the right things, came out and played with arrogance and without urgency the last 2 games. With arrogance and without urgency because they were like, we got this. We're the better team. You said yesterday, they're the better basketball team. Well, they should be because they were the #1 offensive team in the league and the #1 defensive team in the league. But that doesn't win any finals games because you better come out and play, and I'm going to refer to the Kobe tweet without going through the whole thing, but I really like what Kobe tweeted right after the game.
Yes,
that
so
basically Cleveland was playing like its life depended on it, while Golden State's playing like we'll be back to several finals,
exactly.
right? That's how they're playing right now. So are they going to get urgent before tomorrow night? Steve Kerr said before that Game 4 at Memphis, this is our moment of truth. Well, this is your moment of doom and gloom, pal, because you're about to go down in flames.
Well, let's remind our audience. You picked Golden State in 7. I picked Cleveland in 6.
Yep.
But I'm here to tell you, piggybacking off of your comments, I got news for you. And we're not making our pick till tomorrow. Cleveland's in trouble for Game 4. And I'm going to tell you why.
So I see where you're going.
I'm going to tell you why. It was a mistake for the Cavaliers to allow Curry to get hot in that 4th quarter. That was a mistake. You had your foot on their throats. You were running them out the building. You had an opportunity to demoralize them, to literally snatch their heart, or figuratively speaking, snatch their hearts out of their chest. And you took your foot off the gas. It wasn't just that you had a 20-point lead. It's that it was erased in a matter of minutes. Yeah. It's not like you had the 20-point lead in the 1st quarter and they caught up to you in the 4th quarter. I'm talking about in a matter of minutes. It was gone just like that. And when it was gone, primarily because Steph Curry caught fire, that's a bad sign. Because Steph Curry is like, okay, all right, here I come. Bump all of this. You know, I wish they got me easier shots. I wish it wasn't so tough, but I've adjusted now. Also, remember, immediately after the game, Matthew Dellavedova has to go to the hospital, has to get the IV treatment because of cramps, because he was dehydrated, whatever it was. You got to remember, Golden State has a full 2.5 days rest with their home games
after Game 4.
After Game 4.
Yeah.
Cleveland doesn't have that. They got to play in less than 48 hours. So even though Delly's going to be there and Delly's receiving treatment,
I think he'll be okay.
And you think he'll be okay. At the same time, can you rely upon him to do what he did in Game 3? Because everything he did last night was needed. It was necessary.
Shumpert did bang up his shoulder. I assume he'll be able to go because he came back.
All I'm saying to you is this. These are the Golden State Warriors. This is a prolific offensive scoring team. Steph Curry, regardless of his struggles, regardless of how inexplicable his efforts were in the first 3 quarters, this is the reigning league MVP, who I'm going to repeat is the best shooter I have ever seen. You don't let shooters catch life like that. It would have been better for him to come out smoking and then go cold the last 3 quarters.
Okay, so
it was for him to be cold and then get hot the last quarter.
Okay, do you think he's capable of scoring 21 in the first half tomorrow night the way he did at Memphis in Game 4?
Yes, but I got news for you. It doesn't matter whether he scores 21 in the first half. I think Steph Curry is capable of showing up for Game 4 and dropping 40. I think he's capable of that. And I'm just telling y'all, you understand? The city of Cleveland, the Cavaliers, all of y'all, don't get too comfortable. This is Steph Curry we're talking about here, who can pull up from 40 and do it with his eyes closed. This dude catches fire. It changes everything.
But you still like your in-6 prediction for the
Yeah,
Cavs.
but we'll talk about more of this tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm telling you, do not get comfortable. Steph Curry is coming. You heard it here first. He's coming. He's coming.
Wait.
Okay.
I think Delhi's coming, right? Delhi.
I'm just telling you. Y'all can talk all that noise. I'm not playing with y'all because listen, I love the Golden State Warriors, but I'm really hoping that Cleveland captures the championship. I'm not rooting against you. I'll pick the Cavs at 6. I'm telling y'all, don't get happy. Steph Curry is coming.
Okay, on that note, Stephen A. says Steph Curry is coming yesterday.
Okay.
After
all right.
the game,
all right.
LeBron talked about how they were motivated. They were playing as if every game mattered. And speaking of every game mattering, there is a game 4. Check it out. NBA Finals continues, folks. Warriors, Cavs. The Cavs look to make a commanding 3-game lead. Wow, that'd be crazy. NBA Countdown chips things off at 8:30. Don't forget to tune in and check that out. And then game 4 at 9 on ABC. You guys are excited about Delhi. Delhi, the defender, is great. On the other side of the break, we're talking about what he can and cannot do. First take on the road for the NBA Finals. We're live at the Music Box.
First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
Game 4 is tomorrow, and no team has ever overcome a 3-1 deficit. So if in fact that does happen, it will be all bad for the Warriors. Let's go Cavs. As we wrap up the show, Stephen A., I just want to give you this update. Matthew Dellavedova, we've been told, will be discharged later this afternoon from the Cleveland Clinic. He's fine. He was treated for dehydration. He'll be ready to play Game 4. Give me your thoughts on who will win.
Who's going to win?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
I glimpsed a brief sign of life from Steph and company last night in the fourth quarter. I've got Golden State winning in 7 games, so I got to tell you, they almost have to win Game 4. I will lean toward Golden State in Game 4.
It will be the scariest game of the series for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Steph Curry is coming. I believe he's going to go ballistic in Game 4 tomorrow night. But I do not believe it will be enough somehow, some way. LeBron will find a way. Cleveland will go up 3-1 in this series.
That's a wrap.
The Cavaliers will win tomorrow's game. 101-95.
Stephen A. says that the Cavs will get it done. Skip says it will be the Warriors. He's left the crowd chanting. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. Have a good